Well, chemo journal. Technically, I'm on day 2 of the chemo, but it's my first little entry. So, chemo entry journal number 1. I'm actually doing pretty well, which I'm grateful for. I've had side effects, but not anywhere near what I was kind of expecting or envisioning. Thankfully, my nausea has been pretty good. I've been dizzy, not like nauseous dizzy, but it'll kind of hit me like in a little wave, but it'll pass. But the dizziness kind of lingers, and I think that is from the pre-meds they give me. So every night before they put on the next bag, I get the pre-meds, and they've been giving me like 4 lorazepams, which I guess is, I don't know, an equivalent to Xanax, and I don't take meds ever. So meds hit me pretty hard, but they just, so far they knock me out and then make me a little loopy into the next day. So I think tonight I'm going to ask to only take 3 of them and see how that goes, because I really haven't been super anxious about everything. Like I was just kind of ready to get started and get moving so I can get out of here, and then baby girl can get out of here and we can go home. But it's already significantly like made my eye a lot less puffy. Obviously you can see it's still pretty puffy and a little bit protruded here, but it was way more protruded before, and to the point where you couldn't even tell it was puffy down here because it was just so protruded. But the current plan I'm on my first round of chemo, and it's three doses throughout that first round. So this is all happening here in the hospital, my first round, and it's like they're in 21-day increments, including the days that I'm on chemo. So I'm on chemo for 96 hours total. When I have to take breaks to go down and see her, they unhook me because basically to go see the baby, I have to be in like full gown, mask, gloves, more so for her protection than mine, just so she doesn't get any of like the chemo on her. If it's like coming out through my pores or anything, I don't risk exposing her to that, which I love doing. Like I love making sure she's protected from it, but it's crazy to think for me that they were willing to let me do chemo with her in my body, and they're not, and then they want me to gown up so much to go see her. And I guess it's just cost versus benefit variables. So, maybe if she hadn't been as strong as she was, or as measured as good as she did when they did the ultrasound, they may have, not been willing to take her early, and in that case we would have had to decide to wait longer for me to get treatment, even though from an oncology perspective they weren't wanting me to wait. Yeah, from an oncology perspective they were like, we want you to have started chemo yesterday. But we gave her a little bit more time, and then the OB felt safe with her being the weight or the measurement she was. Her lungs looked like they were working well when they did the ultrasound, and she's been really strong. So we're grateful that we didn't have to, that she was able to come safely. We didn't have to wait to make those decisions. But it's still, it just blows my mind that they would be willing to have her in there, and then just all these precautions we're taking now, which I'm grateful to take them and willing to take them. But the more time that I take off of the drip extends the amount of time that I have to hold her or, go visit her like that. And so we're trying to like find the balance between how long I'm off the drip versus how often I go see her, so that I don't tack on too much time to the back end, because that delays me getting to hold her skin to skin. So I'm here on the drip for about basically the equivalent of like 5 or 6 days. Then I'll take some shots that will help with immunotherapy to keep my red and white blood cells levels, in good range. I'm doing a couple other supplementary things, like making sure I'm taking some iron and beef liver, to help keep my white and red blood cell counts where they need to be. But then we will get to go home for the rest of that 21 days. I think it'll end up being like 15, 16 days that we'll be home. And then my second dose, as long as I continue to handle this dose well, my second dose will be outpatient. So I'll go in for a day at an infusion center, and then they'll send me home on a pump for the rest of the 96 hours. When I'm home on the pump, I will have to, again, like basically, if I'm going to hold her, I'll have to have like garb on, gloves, and I don't know if they'll send me home with gowns or if I'll just wear like long sleeves if I hold her. Otherwise, Andrew's going to have to be doing a lot of the care for her, which I'm beyond grateful for him. Having a supportive spouse is just, I couldn't wish for anything more. He's an amazing husband and an amazing dad, and I love that he'll be there to take care of her, but, it also just sucks that I can't be, able to help, I guess. But it's only 4 to 5 days. I keep telling myself, 5 to 6 days. I keep telling myself that, that has to happen, and then we'll get back to the other 16 days and only have to do that one more time after that. So I'm just trying to be hopeful and think about it from a positive perspective of I'm getting better so that I can then take care of her the rest of her life. So it definitely looks a little different, but from a back to the chemo perspective, I get off on baby a lot, my baby tangents, but she's doing really good. They took her off of her cannula today, so she's breathing room air, which is awesome. She did that so fast. Now they're working on her feed. She's eating out of a bottle. She got up to 8 ounces out of a bottle, so she's trucking right along, and I'm trying to keep her little outlook in mind when I'm trying to truck right along with this, and we're just going from there. So super grateful, like I said, that my symptoms have been minimal so far. Even if I start to pick up any nausea or anything like that, I'm grateful to have made it. I think we're like almost 48 hours in. I'm on my second 24-hour bag. So we're almost 48 hours into the 96, and I'm just so grateful. Oh, something's beeping at me. Things beep a lot. But I'm just super grateful to have made it this far without crazy symptoms. So if they do come, at least I got this long without them. So far, the symptoms that I have had, like I said, I get the dizziness, but I think that that's from the pre-meds, not necessarily the chemo, but made me a little loopy in the mornings, but they do make me crash hard at night. So I've slept really well the last 2 nights, just hooked up to the machine, but it just makes me a little dizzy in the mornings. So I just kind of have to have someone like next to me if I'm walking around. Nausea hasn't been bad. The lorazepam also helps with nausea. So I was originally thinking I'd ask to just go down to 2 pills out of the 4, but because it helps with nausea, I'm going to try 3, start with that and see how that goes. See if it just makes me a little less loopy, but still helps with the nausea. My 2 biggest symptoms are, so I've got this lovely glove on. This one's a penguin hand. So I had gotten this, it's a Thera Ice. It's like a ice pack. They're both ice packs for your hands. This one's obviously a mitten, and so it keeps my whole hand cold, whereas this one is just my wrist and the bottom part of my hand, but my fingers are out so that I can easily work on the computer, be on my phone. But depending on if you're going to get ice packs, the neuropathy is what has been bad. I've had the numbness and tingling in my hands and my feet. So I have this pad. I have 2 of these. So when I'm not going to be on the computer or on my phone, I wear one on each hand. So I have one here, do a little penguin wave, hello. And then I put the other one on this hand too. And then I have special socks for my feet that you slip the ice pads in that come with them. They're like cold therapy socks to help my feet. And that has actually been really helpful. So I woke up this morning, I didn't sleep with the cold socks on. And when I woke up this morning and went to put my feet on the floor, I mean, it just felt like my feet were asleep basically, but numb, that numb tingling feeling you get when your foot falls asleep. So after I got back in the bed, I put on the ice pads for basically until they turned warm, and that really helped. So got back up after that, walked around, did a lap around the hospital floor, and really wasn't having any of the numbness because the ice seemed to help with that. So that's symptom number one, just some, general neuropathy, and just keep icing myself when I can until it gets warm, and then I put it back in the freezer, get it back out again, and start all over. And then the other side effect I've had is really dry mouth, and I'm trying to keep from getting sores because they did say that that's a possibility. So I'm just I've got I can't reach it, it's too far away, but I've got my Burt's Bees chapstick, and then I have some hard candies that I've been using as well. And then my mom got me a Biotine dry mouth rinse, and that's actually been really, really helpful. So basically anytime I get up and use the bathroom, or if I feel like it's getting extra dry, I will go ahead and have someone bring it to me. But basically anytime I go in the bathroom, I rinse with the Biotine, and that really has helped a lot. So if you are suffering with dry mouth or going through chemo, definitely get some Biotine dry mouth rinse. And I'll share everything I'm using below in the description, because I got two different kind of ice packs. My mom was all about these, so she got these for me, and then I was all about having my fingers free, but I definitely think you need both, because this is definitely more helpful for the neuropathy than this is, but sometimes you also want to access your fingers, so I would recommend both. And like I said, definitely recommend the Biotine. And then one of the side effects is dry skin, really dry skin, and the tops of your hands can start to peel. So I've been trying to keep that at bay, and so far it's working. This is going to be a very unique thing to use if you were not pregnant when you found out you had cancer, but this organic nipple butter has actually come in. It's from Earth Mama Organics. A friend gave it to me when we thought I might be able to breastfeed or pump for a little bit while we were in the hospital waiting to start chemo, but alas, that was not meant to be. I did get some colostrum out, but that was about it, because then everything started, and obviously I can't breastfeed while on chemo. So I've now been using this for my hands and my arms and my legs, because my legs were definitely super dry. My hands were starting to dry out. And this stuff is, hold on, I'm going to have to take this off. This stuff is extra thick. So it's been super, super helpful, keeping my hands moisturized. And yeah, you can grab some organic nipple butter, or after this is done, I just ordered some beef tallow, which is also tremendously good for moisturizer. So I have beef tallow coming, I think it's arriving at my parents' house today, and I will be using that as soon as this runs out. That'll be what I use to keep my hands dry through, not dry, to keep my hands from getting dry throughout all the chemo. One more thing I forgot to add that I am taking, because my mom said that when my grandpa had cancer, it really helped him, and so I've been taking it. I don't know if that's what is partially contributing to my symptoms being pretty minor, but lysine, so an essential amino acid, someone had recommended that to my mom when like I said, when my grandpa was sick and it really helped him, so maybe it's somewhat genetic that it would help me too. I don't know. But L-lysine is, I'm taking, like, you take one pill up to 3 times a day, and I'm basically taking it 3 times. I'm taking it in the morning when I wake up, at lunch, and then I take one before bed at night. And whether it's contributing to my, like, helping with my symptoms, or it's in my head, or whatever, I don't know. I'm just going to keep taking it because I'm doing all right. So, L-lysine. I'm also taking my prenatal that I was taking before I gave birth, and then desiccated beef liver tablets. So that's my current regimen. But maybe grab some L-lysine to try if you're in the middle of chemo, see if it helps. But that's about it for symptoms. So like I said, I am beyond grateful if I do start to get nauseous. We've made it this far into it, so it'll only be about 2 or 3 days that I'd have to deal with that. And I'll kind of continue to keep making little journal updates throughout the process. Feeling-wise, I'm in good spirits. I've had things keep me company, people to keep me company. My sister's over there right now. Hi! So I've had a lovely... I'm just so grateful for our support system, and people have brought crossword puzzles and things to just keep my mind off of everything. Babe and I finally turned on a show. Well, we watched Scream. He put up with watching Scream for me because I just like them. But that was the first time we had turned the TV on or watched anything in like 2 or 3 weeks. But we're settling into the way life is right now, finally, and trying to put a little bit more normalcy back into that routine. And it's been really helpful to kind of keep me feeling more like myself, and trying to just stay positive through this as much as I can, because there were definitely moments when that wasn't as easy to do. But now that we're kind of getting a feel for everything and realizing that going down to see her all dressed up in my garb isn't as intimidating as I thought it was going to be has helped. So we're just being grateful, thanking God that, this is where we're at in the sense of this journey, and that we have each other and have our support team. And yeah, that's about it. So chemo journal day 1 over. Bye, everybody.